Welcome to Sage Sisters. We are sisters, besties, moms, and co-founders having a fun catch-up on parenting and life.
Hi, I'm Ann.
And I'm Kate. We're excited to be here today. Ann, you want to kick us off with your hi?
I would love to. We are obviously in the holiday times right now, and there's a lot of Christmas parties going on.
Oh, yeah.
And usually I host a lot of them or am the planner at least. I'm involved in the planning, probably just my personality to get involved and take control. But this year we do an annual neighborhood Christmas party, like fun. You go out, go to the bars, do something, get babysitters. And this year the husbands have decided to take control.
Whoa.
So it's coming up in just a few days. I'm very excited, but I have overheard a couple of the conversations and they have decided to host it at our house. We're going to have it at our house, not go to a bar. So I guess I'll be involved a little bit with the beginning part.
I would be so nervous if Chris would host a party here because he wouldn't plan on like cleaning enough.
Well, they had already said they have it dialed in.
Really?
They're like, we have cleaners coming before. We're going to have cleaners coming after. They're going to like worry about the like after part. One of the husbands used to be a general manager at some like very high-end restaurants. So he's kind of dialed in on, you know, managing it all. They all have different skill sets. And so they're combining efforts. And it's been really cute because I've been overhearing conversations. They've had meetings about it.
Oh my God. How many people are we talking about here?
Well, there's potentially 20 people. So couples.
All
so
adults. 10 couples.
10 couples, all adults. And all of the husbands have a role. And that's all I know is that it's at our house. They're going to turn our front rooms into different, like the office is going to be cleaned out and look like a bar. Like they're going to have an actual bar set up. And I know that Phil and our other buddy Curtis are the bartenders. That's their role.
Okay.
The other room, we kind of have a playroom, lounge room that's going to be turned into something that I don't know yet. But, you know, Phil has asked for approval on a couple things. I'm like, sure. And the women get to come. We get to dress up, be all gussied up. And they're going to do like a 5-course meal for us. So we walk in, there's going to be like probably champagne, lots of cocktails. They're going to have all, and some of the menu items I have overheard, we're talking raw oyster bar. We're talking, like insane. So it has.
I was expecting like charcuterie.
No, it looks like they're just going all out. And like, again, they all have been assigned roles. I can't wait to report later on.
I'm so excited.
Me too. So it's a high already before we have it. One, because I'm not planning it.
Yeah.
Two, because I think it's so cute. The husbands are like getting involved and like really.
You're such a control freak though. Are any of your like, I want to control this little bells going off?
No, I had to host another like neighborhood party before.
Yeah.
And a couple things going on. So because I have other things to focus on, like I feel like I don't even want the planning. Like I'll probably help with a little of the setup of the house, and we are going to drop the kids off with the parents. So I'll probably help facilitate some of the babysitting stuff, but I'm out, baby. I'm so excited.
Last question on this high is us dragging your husband in previous podcast episodes contributing to his lean in here. Do you think it's a factor?
Probably.
Okay. We got to drag them more. They got to it's redemption.
Well, Chris and Phil have been going back and forth. Each week, one of them gets dragged, but it's like a week. So they're like, it's your week, baby.
Totally.
I'm laughing. And, you know, of course, we're just starting this podcast. It's relatively small still, but I love your response. This is just what the cost of being married to podcast comedians.
Totally.
They don't love that response. But.
Well, that sounds great. Good job, Phil. I can't wait to see how it turns out.
I know. So super excited. I'll report back, but I'm here for the holiday party.
Well, and one thing that's so nice about it is just, you know, there is just so many things for the mom to do. And maybe other families are different, but it just feels like everybody I know, the mom's really the one orchestrating Christmas or Hanukkah or what the thing is. They're the ones really planning what gifts, what's the.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he's taking that off your plate. That's awesome.
I love it. It's so cute. They're really like just pumped about it, and
Okay. We're gonna need photos and follow-ups.
Okay, I'll provide.
Great.
What is your high this week?
Well, this one is a little related to the business. But one of the reasons you and I started Sage is just like this general feeling that society is kind of off the mark here in how kids are using or overusing technology.
Yeah.
And there has been a good amount of movement in the last few months on legislation and conversation around this issue. And one of the things that happened a few weeks ago is Australia banned social media
Yes.
for kids under 16, which I know you saw because we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And on the heels of that, there's been just a lot of conversation about how will they enforce it and will this work? And I've loved reading all the commentary on it. And a lot of it's resonating with things you and I obviously believe deeply since we're starting this business. But it seems like there's a lot of people agreeing that, or just like this soundbite that's been around for a while is like, oh, they'll never be able to enforce an age. And it's like, a lot of people are like, well, why not?
Yeah.
What's so hard about it? And that's kind of what we've been screaming from the rooftops is like, this is actually not that hard.
Right. Well, I kind of love it for so many reasons, but you're right with the age, because a lot of what we've heard from parents as we interviewed them was, well, my kid's too far gone if they're like past 13. Like if they have already had social media in any way or a phone, because phones start to really come into play at that part, they kind of just like wave it off like, oh, well, maybe I'll save the other kids, or like it's just too far gone. It's not. And if everybody rallies around this and 16 is the average age, it's like, the village thing we always say. It takes a village, but if everybody is required to not use it until 16 and that becomes the new norm, we need new norms. That's the only way to fix this. I love it.
I do too. Well, and I think it's funny, obviously, with Sage Chat, our new app that is going to be launching soon, we've spent 9 months building this thing.
Yeah.
And we're working
with
you.
It feels like eternity.
I know. No, it's only been, since March.
And we're working with Botox, say differently, but go
on. 3 engineers that, I've worked with before, and they're incredibly talented. But with 3 engineers in 9 months, we've been able to solve age verification in our new app. So you're telling me that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they can't solve this? It's like, it's actually really freaking easy to solve. And I've loved the feedback of, oh, Australia did it, but how? And then everyone's like, it's actually not that hard. And it's just like, you're right. It's not that freaking hard if the incentives are there. And I think there's also been some movement with, Instagram creating teen accounts and TikTok saying they're going to limit the glamour filters or the ones that, the girls use to completely look like Kim Kardashian.
Right. Those are weird.
But I think what's interesting is all of these are in response to legislation, all of them. And like the teen accounts on Instagram, they could have done this for the last decade. Right. The day they announced that was the day that the Kids Online Safety Act, KOSA, went to the Senate floor. It's like, oh, was that a coincidence? I think not. So it's like, I just feel like none of the social media companies today have the right incentives, and they are starting to do things around the edges. But trust me when I say it is only in response to legislative pressure.
Yeah, it's
and
like
to see some legislative wins is giving just like a lot of wind in my sails right now.
Yeah, it's like lipstick on a pig right now. They're trying to do the bare minimum in order to get past all of those things. But it is nice that the pressure is on, and it's the perfect time for Sage to rise.
It's on, baby. It's on. And once there's momentum, and once Australia does it, and once a couple states put things into place, and once this argument of like, oh, but we could never enforce it, is like, yeah, you can. Look, they just did it. They just did it. It's not that hard. You do parent verification.
Right.
And you make sure the kids are the age they say they are, and they can't just lie about their birthday. Actually, that was super easy. It's like, yeah. And literally the only reason these guys are, throwing sand in the gears is because they want to advertise to kids. They make a absolute crap ton of money off your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not incentivized to actually fix this. So we need outside pressure. We need legislative pressure, and we're getting it. And I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
Groundswell, baby. Groundswell.
A big high for sure.
Huge high. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So anyways, that had my spirits lifted, and I have just like so much energy right now to continue to build what I think is a really compelling solution. And anyways, needed that.
Yep. We'll take every win right now. That's for sure.
Take every win. Celebrate every win. Boom. Okay. What's your low?
My low is kind of a few things, but the whole synopsis is annoying expenses around the holidays that you weren't anticipating. Everybody knows this is a very expensive time, and you're buying gifts for everyone. The second you think you're done, there's somebody you remembered you forgot, and you're like, oh, I got to go back to the drawing board. So long story short, my car started to make a noise, and I let it go for a little bit until the rattle became so much that my husband was like, what's going on here? And I was like, is that? Oh, I didn't even hear it. He's like, BS. So taking the car in, got to get it fixed. Of course, it's a part that's not covered by warranty. So that's
obviously,
of course. Then it's like, the dog. I love our dog, Birdie. But we found out a little while ago that she's 3. She has cataracts. It's just a genetic thing. Not all puppies get cataracts, obviously, but we have to have a surgery for it. So we're scheduling that and added.
It's like a weird breeding glitch or something.
I'm sure it is. It's
check the origin on that one. That smells like an inbred situation.
Well, even if it is, here we are. She's ours. We got to do the things. So we're scheduling a surgery that we were not expecting.
How much does something like that cost?
Well, we got a quote for like 8,000 to 10,000, which wasn't right, because then I talked to other people and they said they did it for like 15 to 2,000, 1,500 to 2,000. So we're like going around and getting some opinions on how much this will cost.
Is there payment plans, or you got to chalk that all up front?
I'm sure there is. I think we'll just probably chalk it up and try to just move forward, but maybe payment plans. I don't know. I think it depends if it's the 8,000 to 10,000 or if it's the 1,500. Just, annoying. We have parties and things going on, so I want to get the house ready. And it always is good to have things going on to push you to do things that you've been waiting on. But like our coffee table has been missing for a while, and just with kids.
Missing is kind of a weird way to describe it. Like
yeah, that's true. I guess I should let you know. We had like a big poof for a long time.
A what?
A poof? Isn't that what?
A poof, like an ottoman?
Like an ottoman, yeah. Okay. We called it a poof.
Okay.
It looked poofy and it was big. It was like a big leather one.
Poof sounds like poop in my ears. It's like,
okay.
What are we talking about?
All right, let's move to ottoman then. But so back to Birdie. She's expensive. She peed all over that thing one day, and so we tossed it. So we have just been trying to figure out what we wanted to replace. And when the kids were little, that's why we got the ottoman that looks like a poof, because it's soft and it's not really a table. It's like, you can't hurt yourself on it. So now that the kids are a little bit older, Lily's starting to walk more. It's like, okay, let's kind of figure out what we want here. So I've been taking months to try to figure out what I want here. And so now the time has come. So, a coffee table. So I love the coffee table we got. You helped me pick it out.
Yep.
And Sage is not our first business. People should know. We started a hobby business a few years ago.
A side hustle, if you will.
A side hustle called Indris Interiors.
No, don't send people. They're going to look this horrible website up.
I said it was a few years ago. I said it's in the past.
But we get down before this airs.
It's an official LLC. We basically just decorated our friends' houses for free. I don't think we ever got paid for it.
There were a few payments in kind.
Payments. But you are really good at design and edit. I was obviously front of the house because you have no customer service. You would like walk in and be like, disgusting. Like, let's change this. Disgusting. You know? I was like, you're the
Okay, you
design.
act like
I'm
I'm a
the front of
raging
the
bitch,
house.
which maybe you're correct, but I just didn't want to deal with the people. People are nuts when it comes to interior design. It's like, what I want to keep this. It's like, that's hideous. Like,
Well, my case in point. Maybe I said disgusting instead of hideous.
okay,
Front of the house.
front of the house, back of the
But
house.
anyways, I want to kind of circle back and get your design edit because I need you to help me edit some things
Okay.
around my
Oh,
house.
you know, I love to. I
Yeah.
actually spent this weekend helping my husband's sister redo our living room. I did a little, Canva mood board for her. And,
Oh, nice. You're getting back into it.
I just enjoy it. So if a friend is moving or says, hey, can you help me figure out this room? It's funky.
Yeah.
I just enjoy it. So I'm like, sure, send me some pictures. Tell me kind of the spec and I'll whip together a little mood board for you. See if you like it.
I love it. I love design. You are much better at the vision for sure. I feel like you give me options. I tell you which one.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Well,
the
that's
big
an important role, though. The here's 3 options. Sounding board is a critical part of the design process.
Also, the softening of you're going to need to get rid of that. We're going to need to buy something else to
Yeah.
not just the client, but the husband for sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm always talking someone out of like a comfortable but hideous recliner.
Right. Yeah, that they've had in their like name forever. Like
it's broken and like weird, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, the husband brought it to the marriage years and years ago, and
yeah, you're gonna have to massage that one.
Yeah, it's out. So, anyways, annoying expenses around this time of year just hits different. It's frustrating.
We had a cavity. Grace had a cavity.
I was like, we had
okay. Not a collective cavity, although it felt like a cavity in my bank account. I didn't realize this. We moved to Danville where we live. I had asked a friend, like, what do you do for doctor? What do you do for a dentist? And just kind of took those recommendations.
Right.
And did not pay nearly enough attention to the in-network, out-of-network situation. So our dentist, the kids' dentist, which was so cute, right downtown, had all the cool kids stuff. Of course, the doctor was just lovely. Realized after we had a cavity fixed that they were out of network. This cavity cost like $3,000 to fix. I was like, excuse me? Like,
that's crazy. Why is it so expensive?
Exactly. You don't want to go to the cute dentist. It's way too expensive. So anyways, I was like, but the damage was done. She had literally already got it fixed. I just was like a dumbass and didn't ask the questions like before the operation.
Yeah.
So then we're in a place where I'm like, what? $3,000 for a cavity? This is crazy.
That's crazy. I got a filling this summer and it was like $150.
Exactly. So anyways, I feel like I got swindled.
Yeah.
And so I negotiated a payment plan and we moved dentists after that. But yeah, it's just like these things you don't see coming. And then I'm an idiot. I should have looked before.
That kind of does a throwback thought for me. Do you remember Hot Dentist on The Bachelor? What was his name? Cupcake or something? They called him Cupcake. Look it up.
How many years ago are we talking about?
I don't know, probably 10. It's been a long time. I've invested a lot of years into The Bachelor.
Okay.
But he was in Santa Monica, and so I think that's why he resonated more because I was living there at the time.
Okay.
But one of my single friends used to just go to him, and she would always just make appointments. She had the cleanest teeth of all time. She would just go because he was cute. I don't know how much money she spent on it. I'll have to ask her now if she thinks
that sounds like an out-of-network situation.
Out of network, hot doc. He was single on The Bachelor. Cupcake. I think it was Cupcake. So look it up. I can't believe you don't remember. I'm not kind of disappointed.
No, I just had a really weird thought, which is I wonder if anyone's doing the hot OBGYN scam.
Ooh, what?
Like there's like a hot male OBGYN and you're like paying out of network.
No, that sounds awful. Like that's where you should.
You're right. It was a weird, bad thought.
You're never going to say anything normal to the guy. Like, hey, I'm having issues with. Never. You're never going to be like, oh, sex drive is down.
All right, let's move on. That was a really weird thought that should have stayed internal.
Okay, now I'm lost. Did you do your low?
Okay. My low, let me check my notes here. Oh, aging is a bitch. That's what I wrote.
Great, yeah.
Okay. I have been getting my hair done because I am going gray really quickly now. It seemed like it was a couple years ago. Oh, one cute little gray, pluck, pluck, or, cover up with something, no big deal.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I feel like I am in an absolute current of grays. Like I'm getting swept away. I'm getting like they're everywhere. And I will get my hair done and I'll find a gray a week later. Like I need to dye my hair every 4 to 6 weeks.
So are you doing stuff in between though?
Well, this is the problem. This salon that I like is expensive. This is like, hashtag girl life. But the woman who I really love, who I'm calling her a woman, she's like 25, very cool and like, lovely.
Yeah.
But it's like she does a great job. She knows what she's doing. The color always feels like looks right when I leave.
Right.
But I walk out of there, it's $350 to get a cut and color. One color, not even like a balayage or whatever. And it's like,
oof, what I say. It's so expensive.
So
$350 is high. I know you're in Cali, but that's high.
Well, it didn't feel as high when I was going once a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm going or need to go like once a month or every other month, it's like,
well,
so Chris is like, that's nuts, dude. You got to figure something else out. You're not spending that.
Yeah. Well, they've raised their prices too recently because it's just expensive for all. I get it, but it has gotten a little out of control.
Well, so then I was trying to like, okay, let me do an at-home color because I don't need a cut every 4 to 6 weeks. I just need the color.
Right.
And so I tried a few like at-home kits and I found one that I thought was pretty good from DP Hue, which was a brand I think you told me about.
Yeah, because it's Kristen Cavallari's best friend. I started following them and
excuse me, of course.
It, so
well, it's pretty good. I get the Root touch-up kit off Amazon and it definitely like buys me some time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look quite as good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, should I go blonde or like lighter? Because I feel like with gray, if you're light, you can't see the blonde as much. When you have dark hair like I do, it's like one blonde. It's like you can see it from a mile away.
It's true. I said this a few podcasts back. I've been doing my own hair and I can because it's a little easier.
How? You color your own?
Yeah, because remember I said I've been highlighting my own hair, which was a low because it didn't look great one time, but I've been trying to fix it where I basically bleach it. I highlight my hair.
How do you do it? You pull it through the cap and the whole thing?
No, that's like 1990. No one has a cap anymore.
I don't do blonde.
Have you seen any caps at the salon? No.
How do blonde people color their hair in highlights? How do highlights work?
I'm going to say this wrong. It's called like, they have like balayage or something like that where it's
balayage
like,
or something.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. But I just take it and I've got like
the foil?
Well, you can foil or they have like a little tool where I just go through with like my pick and put it up and then paint it on and let it sit. I don't have anything. I just paint it on with a brush.
So you're only picking certain strands and then coloring certain strands.
Yeah. So I make mistakes every once in a while because I'll get too many in one clump or something. But like, because
blonde feels really challenging to do at home.
Well, it goes brassy. I try to master it. Every once in a while it goes wrong. And I feel like, but it's been, I don't know. I said last time I needed to go to a professional. I still haven't. It's been like 8 or 9 months that I haven't done my hair outside of myself.
I didn't notice. So that's a good sign.
That is a good sign because I feel like you're picky, but it is, but like it allows me to be able to do it every 3 weeks, just pieces, like, and then like every 6 to 8 weeks, I'll do like the big thing.
Okay.
But you need something like that feels good where you can just patch it up because that's too expensive. You can't do that every 6.
Well, I have the patch up that's a single color 10, but I just feel like 1 or 2 grays you can really see.
Yeah.
And I want to be the cool lady who ages gracefully and like looks great with gray hair. But we don't have the bone structure for that. All of those women have olive skin and perfect jawlines. And
I know.
Well, no wonder you look hot. You would look hot anyway.
I've looked at it over and over again. One time, like 2 years ago when I was getting my hair done professionally, I was going to a really young girl who was really good at what she did, but that like gray blonde was in. And so all of her clients were 20 something looking great. And she was giving me gray blonde. And I was like, no, I am not ready for it. It's aging me. It's just,
Yeah.
Here's the thing we've always been good at identifying our strengths and weaknesses. It started with like dad really pushed this as we were growing up. Like, he'd be like, well, Kate's good at this. You're good at this, like highlighting our strengths, and they were different.
Strengths.
Yeah, exactly. Our strength is not bone structure. And I
wondered where you were going with that.
Well, it just is what it is. You just got to know.
You got to be self-aware.
Yeah.
Well, I'm tempted to go a little bit later in hopes that the grays won't be as obvious when they come in.
Yeah.
Or I need to win the lottery so that I can get my hair professionally dyed every month. One of those two things need to happen here.
I guess it's
not just the money, it's the time. It's just like, this is a freaking 3-hour situation.
It's too much time. I get antsy in that seat. I can't do it all the time. I don't have
I've started bringing my computer like the nerd that I am, but I'm just like, I can't burn a whole afternoon here.
Yeah. Well, I do think you could go a little lighter. You're so dark hair, dark eyes, dark eyebrows. Like, I don't know if you should go too light.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I went too dark one time. It looked awful. You went too light once before. I think yours went red, unfortunately for you. Like, I love red hair, but your red hair went like, it was like trying to be that pretty auburn, and then it went blonde. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was a bad red.
One great. Yeah, shouldn't have done it. But I do think you could maybe lighten it to hide and blend it a little bit.
Where was this good hair advice when I was asking you about the length of my chop? Because I also got it cut way too short.
I was busy. You sent me like 3 or 4 texts in a row where I was doing something. And I get overwhelmed. It was like,
you didn't respond quick enough and I chopped my hair. It's your fault.
But you sent it to me when you were sitting in the chair. It's not like you got to give me a little
time.
I know. I apologize because I do that to you all the time, and I hate when you don't get back to me.
I was seeing this like Italian bob, and
I think your hair looks cute after that. You don't like it?
No, I have it pinned back for a reason. I cut it way too short. It looks horrible. Part of it is my hair just will not curl.
Mm-hmm.
And to pull off the Italian bob, you need volume with a capital V, right? It needs big, and it needs like a wave or a swoop or something.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't look good? Short chin-length hair that's poker straight. Like, what's that Shrek character?
Oh no.
You know what I'm talking about?
The Farquaad. Isn't that it or something?
Yep, that's the one. Good pull. I look like Farquaad right now. It's bad. It's bad.
Man.
And then I saw there's a girl in my network who has short hair, cute, and she, does the perfect wave on it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I think I got this. It's like, Kate, you've never done a freaking wave in your life. What are you thinking? So then I pulled out the curling iron and I did it the other day, and Grace came in. She goes, that doesn't look right, Mom. And I was like, you're right.
Well, maybe I need to give you a tutorial on the curl when you're here later.
You need to give my hair a tutorial. I'm not sure it's user error or.
Well, let's be honest. Is this the time to go light then? Like, you're gonna mix it up and go lighter after you have a Farquaad?
I must grow it out first. I agree with you. Step 1 is grow it out.
Yeah, ease in.
Ugh. But all of this, it's just like part of the reason I wanted to do something different is because the texture of my hair. Gray texture is also weird. Yeah. Like, it's not the same hair that I had a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm dyeing all this gray hair, and it's like, it's weird.
Yeah.
So I even got like Target marketed for this shampoo called Array. I might be saying that wrong, but it's like Arey, and it's like specifically for gray hair. It's supposed to like smooth it and like make you not have to color it as much.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I mean, I'm trying it. It's very expensive, and I've noticed no changes, but maybe it's one of these, they say, you'll notice differences in 6 to 9 months. It's like, I'm going to be bankrupt before I notice any differences in my hair, but.
I'm too impatient for that. I need instant gratification.
Just put that bleach right on your skull.
Right on, and then 45 to 55 minutes.
Yeah. But this is the aging low. And, everyone looks so good around the holidays. I feel like, I'm going to these parties and everyone's seeming like very glammed up and I'm feeling like Farquaad over here. It's like, I need to figure out my shit.
In the new year, I'm about to start my and get hot list that I have every year. Which is
why wait?
It's true. It's just a week away. Let's start it. But like it is true. Like, why do I always do it in January? I should probably start in let's hit January and then hit
look the other way when they're completely gluttonous through the holiday.
Well, that's the thing is, it always hits right now when you feel like, oh, I've gone too far. I need to get the hot list back out. Because in the summer, you're bronzed, just getting a little sun. You look good. You're wearing smaller clothes. It is this cozy time of year where you're just not as focused. Things can get away.
Yeah.
But it's time
Those sweaters hide a lot.
It's time to get that hot list back out.
What's on your hot list?
I'll tell you. It's pretty similar. So
workout.
Well, workout, get and this is the year I turned 40, so I'm really focused in my mind. I haven't started yet, but mentally I'm
You're building up to the starting line.
I got 6 months to go big and get super fit again. I feel like I was doing great, and then all of a sudden, a couple months of Sage being very crazy and cozy weather.
Peak hotness on your 40th birthday is what you're shooting for.
Yeah. So work out, just get, be really focused and diligent. Obviously, eating at least 80, 20, 90, 10, to make sure.
What's that mean?
It means healthy 90% of the time, 10%, So that way, it's you can have a cheat day or whatever, cheat night, but you keep going and be consistent. But it's, trying to fix the eyebrows. It's the hair to make sure I've got a good cut going. I have been dabbling with the idea of getting a spray tan again during this time of year. I know it's not whatever, but tan looks good with a little color. Baby. Tan looks good with a little color. So it's a little bit of color would be nice for me.
Maybe some context for the tan nickname, but okay. When I was in, I think kindergarten, first grade, I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt and say I was quite young.
I had to be writing. So look that up just a little bit.
Okay. Maybe so, because I was reading, come to think of it, I was reading a lot of Nate the Great books. So I'm going to say first, second, third-ish.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Right.
I started trying to get people to call me Kate the Great. I mean, it just made sense.
Yeah, it's fitting.
I think I even had a magic act as part of this, and I was doing basketball tricks and whatever. Anyways,
yeah,
Kate the Great. I made a big push, signed my school papers. Kate the Great. Got some comments back on that. Anyways, that was a thing, and got super jealous of my name. Yeah, and you were young,
as one does,
as one does, with a shadow this big.
Yeah.
That just means I'm oversized.
Yeah.
You started calling yourself Anne the Pan.
Yeah, I didn't
inexplicably would draw a little pot, not a pan, but a pot next to Anne the Pan. So for many years we called you Anne the Pan.
Yeah.
Even after Kate the Great kind of fell by the sidelines, Anne the Pan really
couldn't get rid of it. Couldn't get rid of it. I didn't design things without the name. I would just draw the pot. Unfortunately, it was a pot, but with little steam coming out, I would just go as a symbol for a while.
I like that.
It's stuck.
Then came, let's see, you were born in what, 85?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were going through middle school in the late 90s, early 2000s. Anyway, the absolute culture was tanning beds.
Yeah.
Just
it wasn't middle school, it was high school. High school. I was using my lunch money.
I felt like it started in middle school, but
I would never have been able to tan in middle school. But high school I went.
You were deviant. I wouldn't put it past you.
It's true.
Speaking of age gate, you probably were the first one lying about your age to get in that tanning bed.
100% I was. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. High school, you turned your skin orange. The tanning and whatever products you were using, your skin was otherworldly. We're going to have to post a photo.
Yeah.
and your friends. I mean, you were not alone, but it was like truly insane.
I thought
The
I was
color that you and your friends turned your skin.
Yeah, I look back at pictures from high school and I giggle because I thought I looked so good.
Oh. So then we changed and the pan to tan and the pan, which then over time became tan and.
Yeah, as I got
then
older,
just kind of turned into tan. So I call you tan a lot, and even like at work, people are like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's a long story. Maybe they'll listen to this, maybe they won't." But
yeah. Well, as I matured, you had to drop the pan, move to the tan.
Yeah, exactly. But there is something to it, I will say. My friend has a saying that says, "If you can't tone it, tan it." And it's
it's a great saying. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah. It does. It is. Yeah. I don't know if I was like brainwashed, but
just a little bit of color, whitening of the teeth. People, this is controversial. Some people like Botox, some people don't. I do just a little bit. And so, little Botox, like just yes, and yes, all those things.
I will say, so I'm living in Danville, California, and it is a lovely place to raise a family and a bit of a bubble that's fairly affluent, where I never realized how much aesthetic work. I'm on some text threads. I don't even understand what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone way beyond Botox out here. We're talking,
chemical peels.
Oh, yeah. Laser lights, chemical peels, doxy this. I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I won't do it. I don't know. Maybe I'll get like pulled in by the culture here. Also, they all look so freaking good. I'm like, can we lower the bar?
Yeah.
I need some sags. There's not a jowl in sight, I'll tell you that, except for mine. It's like, damn, the bar's high here.
Yeah. Well, it is motivating, I guess. It makes you get your act together. But I agree. I don't love the I do Botox, as I just said, but I do feel relatively low maintenance compared to when I hear stories like that. I'm like, oh wow.
But I've decided you can avoid it. Well, I shouldn't say you. I can avoid it if I'm like fit.
Yeah.
And
100%.
that solves a lot of problems.
Hence my checklist of hot list every year is like, if I can nail those basic things that I can do in an at-home kit, I'm ready.
Well, you weren't even using moisturizer on your face. I had to intervene. I was like, you need to do something.
I know. I was like washing my face with those like washable pads, and I do have moisturizer now.
Okay.
But yes, I agree. I was low maintenance in the fact that like I just
you didn't have an under eye cream or a moisturizer in sight. I was like, well, you have good skin, but
but I had no skin regimen, and people were shook when they heard it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll keep tracking it, but it's more and more work.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so what's our topic today? I think you're up.
Yes, I am. It's my topic. And honestly, it kind of hits home on some of the things we've been talking about at the beginning here. But it's an overwhelming topic because it's this time of year. Is it possible to not be overwhelmed during the holidays as a mom or a parent? That's basically the big question, because you have kid activities and programs at school going off. You have like the end of the semester school projects. Then the kids are off school halfway through the month, and you're still
forever. They're off for a year and a half, I feel like.
Yeah, it feels like forever. Then you have your like end of year work stuff that's overwhelming if you're working. And it is, the time of year where you don't get a ton of responses. If you need assistance from somebody or you're dealing with partnerships, people aren't responding. It ain't happening this time of year, even though you need it. You got gifts on gifts on gifts on gifts on gifts. One more.
Okay, so if you could prioritize your origin of overwhelm, what gets you the most?
I will say it peaks at different times, like of the week based on what's going on that week.
Yeah.
But like overall, I feel like just you're traveling, you have family in, you have things like holiday parties. It's hard to stay on your schedule. Like we were talking about health. It's hard to stay on track with eating right and working out every day consistently because either the kids are home or you're traveling. It's just hard. So that overwhelms me because when I'm off my schedule a little bit and I'm feeling a little bit like I've overindulged and not feeling great, I get overwhelmed with everything. Then you've got your like holiday parties that you've got to get ready for, whether you're hosting them or going, right? Then you just have like
you need the outfits. You need it. You can't be in your closet going, "What am I going to wear?" That's not a good feeling if you got a holiday party.
Cold, so you're not just going to wing it. You got to have like the attire. The kids are home more, and there's a lot of school projects.
I think ding, ding, ding project for me. Like, what's the major sense of overwhelm at the holiday? It is kids at home when I have work to do.
Yeah.
And I still want to be healthy. And it's like that trifecta just like the math ain't mathin' on that.
Right. One. It's hard.
And I think what does give a lot of times is the workouts.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of getting just enough work done and the kids just take up a ton of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The no school is a lot. It's a lot. And even though our kids are getting easier, it's still not easy. They always want to do stuff. They're begging me, "Are you done with work? Can you take, can we do X, Y, and Z?" And it's like, oof.
Well, when it's colder out, it's harder for them to go outside and play with people. Like if you're in a neighborhood, it's just harder for them to get out and even do independent play outside when it's cold. So they're just always around. It's like
parenthood. They're always around.
But it is true. It's like you just come off a fall break into like Thanksgiving break into all of a sudden it's just semester break and you're like, what happened here? I feel like
I know. And I always too like then I need a break. Then I go to a holiday party. Then I drink too much. Then it's like a lot of booze also just kind of contributes to the swirl.
Well, it's like a 2 or 3 day recovery. You're not eating great when you're not feeling good when you've had some cocktails.
But that is the best part, though, the fun part.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I kind of knocked out a lot of the gifts during Black Friday stuff. Like, so I didn't feel as overwhelmed as we got closer to Christmas, like with gifts as much. But
there is a point. I think the e-com has, at least for me, I knock out shopping in 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I was done with that weeks ago.
Did you do teacher gifts and all that though? Like
no, you're right. There is a little bit of that.
And, I always do. I like, because I can't do a ton of volunteering at the school throughout the year. Well, I guess I could. I have work and other things going on that like I like pick and choose what I volunteer.
Yeah.
And one of the things I do around the holidays is I collect money for like the lunch lady custodians and like put together like for the whole school. Like we all do it.
Nice.
It's really nice. And I love doing it. But it's just one added thing.
It's so nice of me.
Well, no, I just mean it's nice. The school does it. It's a nice thing to do. But it is like one additional thing, so it's just like I just have to be on it. So I just feel like I have to be on it, and I'm feeling off my game when I feel like my schedule is off, I'm off. So it is. Is there a way not to be overwhelmed?
Have you cut anything? So for me, every time I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm like, I got to get back to the priority board. Something's got to go. What's going to go? Have you cut anything from the traditional routine?
No, that's my problem. What would you cut? What would you
It's cut? Like the hoarding in your closet. It's
it's gotten better.
Same thing. Well, I don't know. I don't have it all figured out. I'm seriously overwhelmed when the kids are home. So it's like probably need to maybe hire my childcare or something. And maybe I will overbreak, like think through that. So it's not like a nightmare in the rearview mirror, which this summer, if it taught me anything, it's like, that's gotta be part of the solution.
100%.
So maybe I actually will prioritize that for when we're back from Christmas and have a huge break before the kids go back to school, is trying to get maybe some babysitters in the mix.
Yeah.
But, I cut Elf on the Shelf.
Oh, we've never done that, by the way.
Yeah.
So
That one was gone.
yeah,
And a lot of people do the daily, whether it's an advent calendar, a religious undertone thing of any sort, or the countdown to Christmas with each day has a thing.
yeah.
I nixed that. That was also just a lot of work and I didn't want to.
Well, I will say, well, my best friend Natalie.
Yeah.
She has a company that she started called the Blessing Box. I've
Uh-huh.
sent it to you. And it knocks it to 12 days. And it's a cute little box for like if you have younger kids, there's an activity each day. It's organized. It makes me feel less overwhelmed, to be honest with you.
I think that one's cute in
Yeah.
that it at least is the right like values at the core.
100%.
You
And
know, there are people that give, a little gift every day, or like
No,
the
I
Elf on the Shelf is so elaborately done. It's like, I don't know. It's a lot of work I know the kids like it, but I just told Grace is like, why can't we get an elf? And I was like, to be honest with you, I said, I don't want an elf and I don't want a countdown calendar
yeah.
because it's too much. And
Yeah.
I want to focus Christmas on what matters, which is family.
Yeah.
And there's so much you got to appreciate. There's like,
Mhm.
but we still do St. Nick's, which I know not everybody does, but we grew up Catholic and that's a thing. So
Yeah.
we did St. Nick's.
Yeah.
We do decorations around the house, but I didn't go, some people, it's their thing. And listen, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum right now. People need to get their joy where they get their joy.
Yeah.
For me, it's not joyful to like decorate the house to the hilt with outdoor lights and all the things. So it's like I cut for me. We do one tree with just the handmade ornaments and like whatever else, but I'm not doing multiple trees everywhere, and I'm not doing outdoor lights. I hung wreaths and it looks fine.
Yeah.
I think it feels nice. It like still has a hint of Christmas, but it's like I cut some of that to try to make it a little more.
That's a good one. We did
Same.
the outside light cut. We have like lights that go against like house lighting and you can
Uplights,
change the colors, up lights. Thank you. And you can change colors so it like makes it feel more holiday.
That's actually the great way to do it.
And we did a little thing around the door, and because I had the holiday Christmas party here with the neighbors, the like ladies, I like for the neighborhood, I spent a little bit more time doing
you
that.
also enjoy that. To me, it's like if you enjoy it, great. That can go high up on your list. It's just something's got to give. So then, what else is it going to be?
Well, unfortunately, it has been like consistent workouts and stuff, and that's the thing that I need the most. So I'm going to put that back into play.
Yeah,
have to cut something else, which is, I mean, now we're kind of past. I need to do this for next year,
right? Like, more resolution.
More resolution.
We'll do that next time.
Yeah, it's like getting dialed in. Oh, I forgot Christmas cards. That's the other thing that overwhelms me. That like I try to do around Black Friday because I do.
Everybody's I did knock it out and get it done, and it was so annoying and expensive. And I'm like, why are we still doing this every year? Why are we still doing this? I know I enjoy getting them though, and I put them up.
Yeah.
So I feel sort of really conflicted on can we be past this holiday card shenanigans?
I say that, and so last year we went from like 120 to like 40 because I was feeling just like done. I'm done. I did cut that last year. And then we ended up ordering a few more afterwards because like, Phil's clients or other people that you want to send it to. And I did find out that like people put them up and people were like, oh, like the Christmas card, we didn't get it or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I do like it when I get people's because I also put it up. And it's a way for me to check in on their family if I don't talk to them all the time.
Yeah.
And so I put it back into play this year.
Yeah. I did.
Though.
To me, I'm like, I think it's a moment of connection where you go, you made my list. You know what I mean? And then that friendship feels closer.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to cut the cards, but I did have like a really like, gotta knock it out like before Thanksgiving energy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want it to be stressful into December. So I knocked that out early, which I was very proud of myself. That's a little bit unlike me.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I do think, again, to your point, Black Friday sales have helped people because I got all the Christmas gifts for
That's
the
right. I
most
got
part.
gifts done quick.
Minted always has a 20% off or more, which is when I did the holiday cards this year.
I did Minted too. Well, the reason, and there might be other companies that do it too, but they print the addresses on
Oh,
the
yeah.
envelopes. I mean,
They got me because I
Thank
did
you.
my wedding invitations 8 years ago with them, and I have all of the addresses that are easy to
such a
update.
smart business hook.
So
It's like,
smart.
we got your information.
Yeah. And
It's like,
everybody's
yeah,
like, "Oh,
take
you
all my
should-
money.
you should
Overcharge me for holiday cards. You'll print them. You'll save me hours. I'll look the other way.
100%. Last year when I was on my tirade of no cards, everybody's like, well, what have you tried Shutterfly? Have you tried printing them at blah, blah, blah? And I was like, no, that's going to be too much of an annoyance.
Too
to
much
do.
work. Yeah.
Too much work.
I will say the other effort that I've made is to not go as nuts with the quantity of gifts.
Yes. Yes.
There always is a little scope creep at the end, and I'm feeling that now. Like, ooh, should I get one more thing for, Grace, for Cal? Is it even? Is it, and doing all the last minute panics.
Mm-hmm.
And I am tempted to panic buy just a few last minute items here to make sure it feels like a magical Christmas morning. But the reality is, like, we've got plenty of stuff.
Yeah.
Hold the line. Do less. You know what I mean?
Well, that does bring me up. The only person I haven't gotten something for yet, and we're like week of, is Phil, because we said no gifts. I brought this up before. I like to one up.
Oh,
so maybe I won't get a gift this year. Maybe just a card. I like the acknowledgement of I'm thinking of you, though. But it's just like because of Christmas with the kids, it's a lot. So I don't know.
I will say I love that Chris and I have a true no gift policy.
Yeah.
With no breaks.
Yeah.
And we haven't even done cards, which that feels just lazy at some point, but I don't know. That's just not where we've.
All right, you heard it here. I'm cutting Phil's gift and I'm getting the card. There's my cut.
What's above and below the line? Below the line, Phil. Sorry, you were the only thing she could agree on. She cut nothing else. You cut a few things though. It sounds like you cut Elf on the Shelf.
We never did it. Phil had a hard.
But that's a choice.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Outside
lights. I forgot we did cut outside lights. That's a nice
cut outside lights.
Yeah.
And Phil taking over the hosting, you cut a big party, which would have been a major source of.
I honestly, that's why it was high. Is in this home stretch of the holiday season, it was a weight lifted.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
I also have decided I just won't look that cute at the holiday parties. I'm gonna wear stuff I already have. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Do a red lip. Call it a day.
I'll go through and see if I could maybe like layer some things or wear differently.
Oh, you're gonna get real weird with this one. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Call me for advice.
I'll FaceTime you and see if it goes well.
You have enough stuff.
I know. Maybe if I just like layered it differently or wore it differently, it would feel good.
Okay, we'll style my closet or whatever they.
In the same way, I'm going to get you to style my living room, edit it. You're going to have to edit my holiday outfit.
No, I love that. We'll do that right after this. We'll prioritize that above all work.
Yeah. Let's move back any of our calls we have with people to decorate.
Sorry, we can't partner with you. We are busy styling a coffee table.
Super important to get this dialed in for me.
Yeah. I don't know. And then childcare, baby. Can you get any childcare help from the grandparents or?
Yes. Well, they actually we saw them a lot from like a little before Thanksgiving to now.
Yeah.
Phil and I were able to take a trip to LA to see old friends. He had a work trip out. The parents watched them that week. We have had a couple things like a concert with neighbors, the holiday parties I've been talking about. We had childcare like booked way ahead of time. One of our favorite babysitters is in college, but she lives across the street. So I booked her a while ago because she was coming back for a while.
You should get on her books for several hours every single day.
I know. You're right.
That preschool, before school starts.
You're right. I did it around events. I didn't necessarily.
No.
They do. next
need
year I'll
more
look
time.
into this. They do have like holiday camps that I've never done, but maybe next year that's something to help. The week before Christmas would be nice to have just like a holiday camp
Mm-hmm.
of some kind.
Oh, like, gotta be careful with those camps. If it's a 2 or 3 hour camp and I'm running all over to take you, it's not even a time. It's not even a help.
Yeah, you're out.
What's a real help is someone come to my house, take my kids out of here so I can do stuff.
Well, I did forget to mention Lily's daycare is all the way through. So like
Ooh, that's a big win. God bless you, daycare.
You do pay for like holiday weeks when you don't use it, but like it really helps in those moments where the other two are usually off of school. We have her and she loves it. So it's like she loves to go and
great. Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah. So
all right. Well, Godspeed. Hope you find enough time for fitness, and
I guess it's moving to next year. But here I say it here because then it's real. Fit 40. 40 and fit.
That sounds like a bad napkin.
It does, but I might buy that napkin because maybe I could like frame it and then every morning I wake up or like put it above my door in a frame and like
that's even worse. That's a live, laugh, love if I ever heard it.
100%. But it reminds me of when we were playing high school basketball together. You put the cool runnings saying you were our captain and you made us do the cool runnings.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. What a nightmare.
Yes.
I was.
And it was like it wasn't feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. It was like what was the other cool
I don't remember what it was. To me, it had like a cool Ted Lasso believe sign, but it probably wasn't that cool.
And you put the sign over the door, and as we ran out to the game, we all had to jump up and hit it.
Ted Lasso got that from me.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that with my Fit and 40. Every morning I wake up, I'm gonna hit that sign.
Honestly, put it on your fridge. That's what you need.
Yeah, it's true, with a lock.
Code lock the fridge. Well, when we're home together, let's commit to working out, and that'll help.
I know. I'm excited to see you during.
I know, it'll be good.
Yeah. All right, so we do obsessions.
Okay. Do you want to go or should I go?
You go first this time. I feel like we'll get wild and mix it up.
Okay. I wanted to highlight a game that our family plays, particularly over the holidays. Like, I'm really excited to go back because I know we're going to play the horse race game.
I love
worst name in history for a game. Like, branding people call me. We can do better. But
is that the actual name? I know
that's the name. Yeah. The horse race game, which I guess they're optimizing for SEO. It's like go on Amazon, search for the horse race game, buy this thing. This game is absolute treat. If you have people coming over to your house, holiday party, late night, you need no rules. You can literally explain it as you're playing. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of luck and everyone starts cheering. So it's got real, the magic, and this is going to make me sound like a real gambler, which I am, so it's fine. But the magic of Vegas when you're all standing around a craps table and the energy just swells. It's like, oh, baby. And everybody's like blowing on dice of someone they don't know. It's like, that is the best of gambling. That's what the horse race game has going for it. It's like,
100%.
Oh, and you're playing open face with your cards. So everybody knows who's got what. And you're saying, oh, you got a, 8 horse. I got the 8 horse. Come on, Ocho. Let's go, Ocho. You're like screaming.
Yeah.
So you roll as many, if your dice hits, your horse moves up.
Yeah.
If you roll and that horse has already been scratched, you pay. So it's got all the ingredients. Money on the line.
Yeah.
Easy to learn.
Yeah.
Collective cheering.
Yeah.
And then there's like a peak, like, somebody wins and there's just like a, it's so good.
It's fast paced. You can play multiple rounds, but it doesn't take like, some of the games that like take a long time. It's just hard to do that. We put in $15, $20. It's something like that. So it's not
I don't think it's that. I think it's like, maybe last 5 or 10.
But like if you're the winner, you feel like a big winner and it's probably $30, but it's like you play with quarters. It's so fun. That game. And last year, we'll have to do it again this year. Last year Mom was really into espresso martinis. And so we got her that espresso martini kit, but with tequila. And they call it a catejillo or something like that.
Okay. I hope that's not right.
I hope that is right. So I went for it.
Never heard that.
Yeah, I think it is. Look it up. But it was so fun. We were doing espresso martinis. We had the kids all in bed. We were just downstairs with all of the adults. It was we should replicate that for sure.
Yeah. If you need to bring something as a housewarming gift, if you need a last minute panic buy to add to your Christmas, think about it. The work race game. It's a gem. That's great. My obsession. I'm excited to play it with our family. I've been playing it with the neighbors. We have a running game where we kind of keep the tally, and when it hits $50, everybody pays out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a good way to do it.
Love it. Yep. Okay, good one.
Okay, what do you got? What's your obsession?
Mine feels now a little bit too, like, I don't know, beauty. But I have been obsessed with this Ilia. I think you might have even turned me on to it. This super serum skin tint from Ilia.
I gave you that.
No, you I don't think you gave me this one. You gave me something Ilia. You gave me like those sticks. Like I'm almost
certain I gave you that because I bought that, and for me it gave me little bumps. I have such sensitive skin, it didn't work for me.
I think I bought this one on my own. I went out and got it.
All right, well, regardless, let's move on.
All right. I love it.
Good. I've heard people rave about that one.
It is light, but it's still, you can put it all over your face with the coverage. I've been doing it like
it has SPF too, doesn't it?
40 SPF. It's got it says stuff I can't say, but hydrochloric acid is one of them. That's one I can say a little bit.
Yeah, that one's nice. That's a good moisturizer.
It feels good on your face. I've been testing out. It's got this little drip, applier, and all of the influencers that put makeup on do the drip on their face and kind of let it run, and then you take the little pad. I've been having fun with the application of it.
Great.
It's not too expensive.
Your skin looks great, I will say. So
it's good coverage. And so as we go into the hot list, this is a staple that I will keep because it does make me feel like it makes my skin look
dewy
good.
Skin in the dry weather.
When?
Ilia serum.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Love it.
That's
all right. We're at time, and I'll get to see you soon. And then maybe next time when we come back, we'll do a New Year's resolution kind of podcast. That'll be fun.
I love it. Well, happy holidays and excited to see you. Everyone enjoy the holidays. That's a wrap.
Okay. See you soon. Lilas.
Lilas.